Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, I'm a new affiliate marketer here to tell you a little bit about my journey, what brought me to this point so far. Um, for those of you watching who are either thinking about starting their own social media journey or, maybe their own online business journey, I hope you'll find this helpful. And, well, it's also for anybody just generally interested in self development. So, to get started, when I first enrolled in the program that taught me about the affiliate business back in May of this year, I was only a few months away from finishing school to become an aircraft mechanic. Now, I really enjoyed the school. I took a big interest in all the physics and the mechanics of it, but also subconsciously, I always knew that I'd be miserable if I ended up working in 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. But going back a few months earlier, something happened that definitely changed everything back to what I believe to be the way things should be for me. So toward the end of the courses, mechanic courses, I should say, I listened to an audio book, which I don't want to necessarily overhype as the be all end all answer to everything, but it definitely helped a lot change the course of my life. If the book piqued your interest, by the way, it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear, very popular book. But anyway, I ended up listening to it during my 20-minute commute to school every day, and it slowly started implementing what the book suggested, which was making small changes in my daily routine and whatnot. I have to say, my biggest takeaway from that was just the small improvements over time that eventually lead me to finding myself and my life to be remarkably different in a good way. So from there, it didn't take a whole lot of time before I realized that although I was looking forward to working in the aircraft industry, there's always been more I wanted out of life than laboring it all away to benefit some rich guy who did something that I was also capable of doing. My problem at the time, though, was that somewhere in my past I had forgotten that I had always wanted to own my own business, whether that be a physical business or potentially even an online business. Just be my own boss, if you know what I mean. Um, Now, the process of developing those better habits daily from that book turned out to be exactly what I needed to really boost myself to a certain level of confidence where I was willing to take bets on myself to accomplish my life goals. Because somehow I now felt that I was truly the captain of my own future, if you know what I mean, and not leaving it all to the mercy of others. Not too long after that, I ran across an ad talking about making money online. At this point in my life, I was sort of over and even sick of just reading books about self development and business and all that time that I was spending. I wasn't actually taking action, so I was way overdue for actually being a man of action, taking action on all those things that I learned. Also mentioned that I had been smart with my money for several years leading up to this, and I was at the point, to make my big move with all that money I'd been saving up. And although I was still not set on exactly how to go about that, I decided it might be worth my time and money to make a small investment with this ad talking about a success path. Um, the product, to me, it just gave me good vibes. It seemed like it might be just what I needed at this point in my life if I ever wanted to learn how to escape the 9 to 5. I also knew that taking this kind of journey was going to cost me money to learn how, and that also had to come from people that I felt like I could trust. But it was also, I had my reservations with all these get rich quick scams floating around all the time. But despite my cautions, I finally said screw it and pulled the trigger on one of the business models they offered, because they offer three distinct business models. When I pulled that trigger, I pulled it with determination, though. I was determined to commit to this and really give it a real quality, solid chance. And that commitment since turned out to be the all time reigning champ as the best and most transformative decisions I've ever made. Um, Although my bank account took a noticeable hit, and I also knew that there was a pretty big risk of not seeing my return on investment anytime real soon. And I'll tell you a little bit more about this in the future, But let's get back to the story. So, being pretty busy between my schooling, my job, and other, living circumstances, I still manage to get in between 1 to 2 hours every single day, just learning the business and getting the techie side of things squared away. Now, I also made a few mistakes along the way, which made it take longer than it probably should have, which is something I want to share more about in the future posts because I really think there's some powerful insights there, just to learn from other people's mistakes. Um, but in short, what turned out to be my biggest mistake was my tendency to really overthink things, from picking my niche to figuring out my brand message to coming up with a business name that reflected my philosophy, and on and on. But looking back though, I think all those holdups, those things that, slowed things down for me, will probably end up working out to my benefit in the long run. But it also slowed down my progress towards actually opening up shop and building an audience. I only started posting on this TikTok on November 2nd with the help of AI, and now I'm just getting into the face to face kind of thing. So as of now, I'm still trying to figure out whether AI or recorded content is actually going to be working better for me. But I'm also pretty convinced that I'll get a lot more long term benefit out of this face to face type of content, even if it's a little bit more difficult and time consuming in the beginning. But I'll definitely keep you all posted once I have enough info to see what's working out best for me. But anyway, there's a little bit on my background. If you'd like to tune in and hear more about my journey, well, it's a busy weekend, but I try to post at least once or twice every day. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you soon.